It's going to be moving towards Beaver Creek over the next couple of minutes. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor ongoing rotation, which is currently centered here near Beaver Creek. That is not tight, but it is very strong, and it very well could tighten at any time as it moves towards Beaver Creek over the next several minutes. This will be crossing over Interstate 675 within the next 2 to 3 minutes or so. It'll also be going towards Highway 35. Again, this is heading towards areas like Beaver Creek. That is the main location in the track within the next 5 minutes. Beyond this, it will likely be going along Highway 35, going towards Xenia, if I'm saying the name right, and eventually going toward a bit more of another populated region if it's able to stay with this tight rotation, which again, it's not tight, but it's fairly strong as of right now. Again, this is tracking towards Beaver Creek. That is where your rotation is as of right now. Let's look at the reflectivity. So yeah, it's definitely a rain wrap situation that we're looking at. So if there's a tornado, you are very unlikely going to be able to see it. So if you're in Beaver Creek, get to your safe place immediately, away from windows, and again, your lowest floor possible. This is definitely a dangerous storm to watch for as it tracks out to the east. We did have another tornado warning in Florida. That, by the way, has expired. That was the one in Duval County. That was near Jacksonville. That one did expire, by the way. That was like northeastern Florida. So we're down to one tornado warning as of right now. We do have a few other severe thunderstorm warnings as well. We'll kind of get to those here pretty soon as well. But a main focus as of right now is this tornado warning. Again, this is tracking towards Highway 35 as well as portions of Interstate 675 over the next couple of minutes. And you can even see that little inflow going to the storm here. So that's going to be something to watch for as well. Again, your rotation is rain wrapped as of right now, so we're not going to be able to see this. If you're storm chasing or even in this area trying to see if you can find a tornado, it's going to be extremely difficult just due to the fact we have a lot of rain wrapped around this tornado that may potentially be coming down right now. Again, there's a possibility that it could be on the ground at any time, even in between radar scans. So definitely a system to watch very closely as this tracks out to the east. Here's a look, by the way, at the correlation coefficient. As of right now, there is no debris being indicated on radar, but again, that could very well change at any time. We could see a tornado at any time as well as this heads towards Beaver Creek. And again, Xenia, if I'm saying the name right, is the next area in track, probably in about 15 to 20 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less than that. So make sure you're starting to get prepared for this storm. Let me go and put a track on this long term to give you an idea of where this will be heading. Again, this is in southwestern Ohio if you're just tuning in. Let's go over to the track. Again, this is in about a 250,000 populated area, so it's very populated. This storm is going to be going. Let's go and put a little track on this so you can get your timing on the left side of your screen. These are all in central time, so I'm going to add an hour to every time as I say it. 5 points right around 6:07. Bellbrook right around 6:11, as well as Spring Valley 6:21, Xenia 6:24, Wilberforce 6:27, Cedarville 6:36, Shawnee Hills right around 6:44, Jamestown 6:49, as well as Jeffersonville right around 7:15, Bloomingburg is going to be 7:39, and Mount Sterling right around 7:51. And again, that's kind of along this line of storms, not just the tornado warning, but that's kind of what we're looking at as of right now in terms of the timing of when this may arrive to your location. Again, this tornado warning is still including areas just now on the outskirts of Daytona, kind of in the Dayton, excuse me, just kind of southeast of Dayton. That is where we're looking as of right now for this tornado warning cell. We do have a new update, I believe, coming on the velocities. Let's take a look. So again, here's your rotation. It is about to cross over Interstate 675. Again, that's where we have our rotation line. Let me go and remove the track there. So you can see the rotation as of right now is just about to cross over Interstate 675. That again will be crossing over within the next couple of minutes, going towards Beaver Creek, and as well as Highway 35. That is where it's heading as of right now. So really, it could go towards the downtown area of Beaver Creek, which would not be good. Again, kind of in the suburbs of Dayton, though, as of right now, north of Bellbrook, by the way. So if you're in Bellbrook, you're not in this tornado warning. It is for those right now in Beaver Creek, along this Interstate 675 stretch, and just along and probably just south there of Highway 35. That is where our rotation is as of right now. Again, this is tracking in this direction, but you should stay in shelter if you're anywhere in this tornado warning. Again, this is now east of Oakwood, going towards Xenia, if I'm saying the name right again. So that's our areas currently in this ongoing tornado warning. Again, if you're just tuning in, hit the subscribe button down below. Like the video, by the way. Help get this out to more people that are potentially in this warning. Again, this is definitely an area to watch for very closely. I know a lot of people live in this area. Definitely a dangerous situation if this is able to hit the ground. Again, we'll keep you updated. I don't think there's any storm chasers in this specific area, so I don't think we'll have any updates at the ground. Let me take a look if we have any updates, though. And as of right now, there's not been any reports of a funnel cloud or anything along those lines quite yet. but there definitely seems to be, back a couple of scans ago, almost tight rotation there. We very well could have at least had a funnel cloud, or there might even be one ongoing right now here near Interstate 675 moving towards Beaver Creek. And again, this is your area of rotation embedded in the storm. Again, here's your inflow going to the storm. That is where our rotation is. It is again rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see this if you're near Beaver Creek or east of Dayton. It's going to be extremely difficult to. It's again a very rain wrapped situation that we're looking at going right along Highway 35, tracking out to the east. By the way, we do have a couple of new warnings, new severe thunderstorm warnings. We're currently at 5 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 tornado warning. Again, we'll keep you updated mainly with this tornado warning though for right now as this tracks out to the east. That is our main focus. And here's a look at the latest radar scans. Seems like that inflow may be getting cut off a little bit, which might be good news. Let's go over to the velocities again and let's see if there's any new updates there. And this is the 50. Let me take a look. This is our latest radar scan. So as of right now, the rotation is now just crossing over Interstate 675. So going towards Beaver Creek. That's now where our rotation is. It is still there. It's not tight. Again, as I mentioned, it's definitely not on the ground. It looks like right at this given time. But again, that could change at any time as this moves off to the east. So here's back to the correlation coefficient. And again, where your rotation is right about there. Nothing showing up other than rain as of right now, at least at the ground. So that's good news. Again, no tornado yet. But again, that could very well change at any given time as this moves off to the east, going towards, again, Beaver Creek over the next several minutes. Again, we'll have to watch the storm very closely. And again, this will be definitely a storm to watch. Let me make sure I get this pronunciation right, by the way. Xenia. Okay, so it's Xenia. My bad. So this is Xenia. That's gonna be in the track of this. That is again a bit more of a populated region. I had to make sure I get the pronunciation right. Pulling up Google for that. That's gonna be going towards Xenia. Again, Beaver Creek right now on the track. Xenia will about 10 to 15 minutes, I would say, until this storm gets to your location. Again, if you're in Xenia, make sure you're aware that this storm's coming your way. You don't have to seek shelter now. Just make sure that you're aware of it because it may get tornado warm beyond this. We'll have to wait and see. But the rotation has definitely held up so far. It is extremely rain wrapped though. I mean, again, your rotation is here. Look at all the rain around it. You're not going to be able to see it if there is a tornado. All this rain around it is going to hinder the viewing of this storm. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Again, this is in Ohio, a populated region in Ohio, southeast of Dayton, west of Xenia. That's where we're looking as of right now for this ongoing storm, where the rotation is. Again, if there is a tornado, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be a strong one by any means. It'll probably be some sort of weak sort of tornado. We don't have an environment where we have strong low-level shear or low-level jet, so we're not looking at an environment where we can see the long-tracked deadly tornadoes. But obviously make sure you're getting to shelter because any tornado can cause damage in any situation. But definitely a storm to watch as it moves off to the east. The low-level jet today is actually fairly weak, and I'm kind of surprised how many funnel clouds we've seen today. We saw a good amount back up in northwestern Ohio earlier today. There was a decent amount up that direction, so just kind of keep that in mind. We've obviously had some funnel clouds. This is obviously another thing to keep in mind though near Beaver Creek. Again, just make sure you're in your safe place near Interstate 675. It very well could touch the ground though at any time as this moves off to the east. Again, Xenia will be in the track of this next. This is now southeast of Dayton, Ohio as of right now. And here's the latest scan. Seems like the velocities are weakening a little bit on this storm, which might be good news as this tracks out to the east. I'm going to go back, by the way, in a few minutes and kind of go to the, we're going to go back in time and see if there was anything on the ground. I'm going to take a look at Twitter too and see if we do have anything over there. But again, as I mentioned before, it seemed like the inflow did get cut off, so that may help it to weaken. That's again where your rotation is near Beaver Creek. That seems to have weakened for the time being. Obviously, we could see this recycle, but definitely be a storm to watch as that tracks off to the east. Let me go over to Twitter. Let's take a look and see if we have anything near Beaver Creek as of right now in terms of this storm. Yeah, the tornado warning goes until 5:30. It may be canceled beforehand, but yeah, the storm, by the way, looks insane. There is definitely it's very rain wrapped if there's anything. That's all I got to say. This is a situation where we're definitely looking at a rain wrapped concern. If this were to still be on the ground, if there is a tornado at all, again, it's radar indicated rotation as of right now. Taking a look and see if we have anything on Twitter, but as of right now, nothing confirmed. We don't have any funnel cloud reports. That's kind of given though, because it's rain wrapped. That's what we're looking at as of right now. Again, this is currently moving into Beaver Creek. It'll eventually go right along Highway 35. And again, this storm may be able to recycle too in the long term, so we'll have to watch that pretty closely. Let me go and zoom back in on that rotation. So again, west of Beaver Creek. It's about to be entering into Beaver Creek probably right about now. All right, let me back over to here. By the way, we have a couple of new severe thunderstorm warnings. One in Utah. It's in Washington, Utah. We also have one in Jefferson, New York. And we also have one in Georgia, Bryan, Georgia, Liberty, Georgia, and McIntosh, Georgia, all included in new warnings as well for severe thunderstorm warning. So just a couple of updates there. We do have a tornado possible, severe thunderstorm as well back down in Texas. We'll get to that here pretty soon. That's in Mitchell, Texas. That's kind of like central western Texas. So those are the couple of areas that we're looking at as of right now. Again, this is currently in Ohio. This is southeast of Dayton, which again, Dayton is a bit more of a populated region. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, again, if you're in this tornado warning, make sure you're getting to your safe place immediately, away from windows, lowest floor possible. And again, Beaver Creek is the main area still included in this warning. I don't think any other towns are in this little area. I think it's just Beaver Creek. I knew that there was Kittering back out here to the west, as well as obviously Dayton. Dayton was the main city included in this. That is where we have a pretty large population there. So hopefully there was no tornado on the ground then. Let's go back over to the velocities. We do have our latest radar update, and it does seem like it's starting to lose a lot of its momentum with its rotation. You can kind of see the rotation, or the winds, I should say, going away from the radar are definitely not nearly as strong anymore, and they're really not noticeable. So that might be good news. We may be seeing a little bit of a weakening trend as this does head toward Zinnia over the next several minutes. Let's go back over to the live radar, and we'll kind of stick on this for right now. But again, that rotation that is still there, it's pretty weak though, it seems like now, is near Beaver Creek. So maybe some good news. Again, we'll keep you updated though. It could very well recycle as it heads off to the east as well, so we'll be watching that very closely as well. By the way, for a total warning count as of right now, again, this is our one tornado warning in southwest Ohio. We have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings, and they're kind of all scattered around the United States. We have 3 special marine warnings, 12 flash flood warnings, and 32 special weather statements. So that's what we're looking at as of right now for all the warnings that are out there. But again, this tornado warning is set to expire at 5:30. Again, it could get canceled if we start to see the rotation weaken in the next scan, but we'll have to wait and see what happens over the next several minutes. All right, let me back over to here. By the way, we do have flash flood warnings back up in northern Ohio. That's back up near areas near Cleveland. So we do have some flash flood warnings up that direction. And there's also a couple of other flash flood warnings here in the area back over into portions of central Ohio. So we do have a little bit of a flash flooding threat ongoing as of right now. And it seems like that cell, by the way, back over into Texas, that is a tornado possible. The rotation again right now is not overly strong, but watch that closely. That is near Lorain, Texas. That is again kind of in between Albany and as well as Midland. So we'll be watching that one closely again as well. Hey Gene, how you doing? Welcome back. Thank you for the report. Stay safe, Thigo. Stay safe. I will probably look at some of the other storms as well. Yeah, I'll probably be live for about an hour or so, unless there's some other tornado warnings. But the live stream just started, so we'll kind of stay alive for a little bit, kind of cover this storm as of right now. Again, we'll watch this one closely as it moves off to the east. This very well could recycle too, so I do want to make sure we're staying live. But the tornado warning has been canceled, so good news. So tornado warning for right now has been canceled for Beaver Creek. It seems like that rotation did start to weaken out. But let's hop over to a few of the other severe thunderstorm warnings that I want to kind of get to. First, though, we do have a lot of little concerns ongoing here in Ohio. We have some flash flood warnings back near Lancaster. Around 2.5 inches of rain actually fell back down in Amanda. That's in Fairfield County, Ohio. We had a little bit of flash flooding as well as near New Lexington. So there is some flash flooding concerns over this direction, and there's another area of storms right behind it that also could potentially pose a threat for some flash flooding. Back up near Cleveland, we've had some decent cells up here. None of them really rotating. Again, as I mentioned before, I don't really expect much of a tornado threat with any of these storms, mainly due to the fact the low-level jet and shear are very weak. So we're not going to be really looking at much of a tornado threat. But flash flooding, definitely a concern. We could see some damaging winds as well with these as they move off to the east. There is a slight risk of severe weather tonight, as I mentioned before. This is a look at the slight risk. It's really down here to the south. So it goes through Kentucky, through southeastern and eastern Ohio, and western West Virginia. That is primarily for damaging winds tonight. Let's hop over into New York real quick. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning up this direction. There was some rotation, not on this storm specifically. We do have some rotation earlier near Syracuse. It wasn't anything too crazy, but there was a damage report. We're going to get to that here in a second. We do have a storm that is currently warned for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds for Watertown, Dexter, Glen Park, Adams Center, Sackett's Harbor, as well as Brownville and Depuville. and Perchville, or Perch River, excuse me. So those areas all included in that severe thunderstorm warning. That is moving off to the northeast. Alexandria Bay will probably be in the next area of track of that. We do have a damage report, actually a couple of them west of Syracuse. There may have been some rotation here, but we have some reports from almost a couple of hours ago now for some trees and wires down. So there was at least some wind damage, if not maybe even some sort of brief instance of a tornado up that direction. But obviously we haven't had any confirmations on that quite yet. We do have some storms ongoing actually down in Florida. We had a tornado warning earlier. That was at the very beginning of this live stream for Duval County. That is, again, just south of Jacksonville. We do have a funnel cloud report from about an hour ago back over actually into Port Wentworth. That is over in, I believe, South Carolina. That's basically on the Georgia and South Carolina border here. It sounds like there was a funnel cloud for about 5 miles east of the Savannah International Airport. So no duration or anything on that, but there was a little funnel cloud reported there earlier. There was also a tree down along a road in Bluffton, and there are still some storms ongoing here in eastern Georgia. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning right along Interstate 95. Pretty unpopulated area here, but that is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So truck drivers, be aware of that in between Riceboro and Darien. That is, again, in Georgia. We have another strong storm down in Jacksonville. Not a whole lot to talk about there, though. The severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, over in Texas has expired. So that was the one that we had a tornado possible. That one's no longer ongoing. We have a lot of strong storms ongoing, though, here in East Texas. Those are all producing gusty winds around 40 miles per hour. Moving off to the north and as well as the northeast. So a couple of storms to watch there. There is a flash flooding concern, by the way, a moderate threat for flash flooding today over that direction. Back over into, I believe this is Utah. Yep, this is Utah. Back over near St. George, we have a couple of good storms over here, actually. There's one right now producing some 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar sized hail. This is over back into southwestern Utah, and that's, again, moving to the south as of right now. So another storm to watch there. Pretty good hail core, by the way. Another one in a bit more of a populated area. This is near Hurricane in Leeds. This is producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong ball-sized hail. That is also moving down to the south. So this will be another storm to watch. A little bit more of a populated area here. This is along Interstate 15. East of Washington. Again, this does include Washington, Hurricane, Sand Hollow State Park, Quail Creek State Park, and Leeds are all included in that warning as of right now. So those are really our warnings, I believe, that we have as of right now across the United States. Again, there will be a lot to watch still. We may still have some severe weather ongoing back over into Ohio tonight. Kind of a little bit of a look, by the way, at the infrared imagery. You kind of see, again, very active day so far across the southern plains, and not just that, across even the northeast and the Ohio Valley. Kind of see all these storm activity, all these reds indicating some very high cloud tops, especially back down in the southern plains. Back over here in Ohio and whatnot, storms not overly impressive, but again, some of the ones that have become the most strong have produced some brief funnels, and actually kind of see this from earlier back up near Toledo. Let me go back over to this. So pause it real quick. Back at around 2:40 this afternoon in Rossford, we did have a report of a funnel cloud there, and there was also another one at 2:10 in Lucky. That was also reported by the fire department in the area. So there has been some funnel clouds back up in this region, but I don't think we've had any confirmation recently, though, of anything too crazy. At least on the Dayton storm, we don't have any confirmation of anything yet because it was a rain-wrapped area of rotation. But I don't think we have any rotation here anymore. Let's go back over to the velocities. We'll take a look and see if we have anything ongoing. And I don't see anything organized anymore. Beaver Creek is obviously very well weakened. Beyond that, not a whole lot of rotation here in western Ohio, which is good news. Beyond that, back up near Cleveland. As I mentioned before, these storms are dealing with a very weak low-level jet, so any rotation will likely be extremely brief. But what we're looking at here, again, a little not really supercell, more of just a strong storm right now near Berlin, moving toward Eaton Estates. That will be a storm to watch pretty closely, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of rotation here. That will, again, go along 301 over the next several minutes. So that may be a storm to watch as it moves off to the east and east-northeast. Beyond that, though, not a whole lot of severe weather, which is good news. But we'll keep you updated at least for a little bit. We'll kind of watch the weather, see if anything too crazy does occur. For right now, let's hop over into New York for right now. We'll kind of wait and see what happens. But as of right now, we do have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, we'll kind of keep you updated and see if anything does change. But for right now, I do think the overall severe weather should stay pretty low. But I wanted to go live because there was a big, obviously, tornado warning in Dayton, Ohio. That was kind of a big story there. Obviously, a much more populated region that had that tornado warning. We have a new update, actually, on a storm over in Utah of golf ball-sized hail. Let's hop over to that. This is, I believe, a new update, right? This is a... Yeah, so new update on Washington, Utah. This storm here is up to golf ball-sized hail, moving down to the south and south-southwest. This is a considerable threat for the Washington region. This does include the Docks Pass Wilderness area. That's kind of the main area included in this as of right now. That is currently moving down to the south-southwest. So again, we're up to golf ball size hail on this specific cell, and that's pretty well kind of shown here. Pretty big hail core right now in southwestern Utah. Let's go over to the hail radar real quick. Let me go and bring that up real quick. Here's a look at the hail radar as of right now. So we do have a pretty decent hail core here. That is, again, in southwest Utah. And yeah, you can see it very clearly here. Definitely a pretty impressive hail core. It's actually estimated to be almost as high as tennis ball sized hail. But most of the region seems to probably be around golf ball sized hail. Again, the peak estimate right now is around hen egg to maybe up to somewhere around tennis ball sized hail. But the warning has at least gone upgraded to golf ball sized hail. I don't think we have a lot of people in this area, so I don't think we're going to get much of a report on this storm. But it'll definitely be something to watch. A pretty significant hailstorm right there. The other one back near Hurricane, this is warned for ping pong ball sized hail. The storm as of right now is producing $half sized hail estimated by radar. So that's near Interstate 15 moving down to the south. So those are a couple of hail cores as of right now. So definitely a decent hailstorm though here. Again, producing up to golf ball sized hail from the National Weather Service. We also, let me take a look and see. Yeah, so those are our updates on that severe thunderstorm warning as of right now. By the way, in Jacksonville, Florida, we do have some rotation apparently still ongoing. There was a tornado warning there earlier. So, coming in on Twitter, I'm going to take a look and see. I don't see like a whole lot of rotation, but there's somebody on Twitter, at least I was kind of saying there might have been a little bit of rotation there. It is trying to rotate. That's kind of what we're looking at. So, back over in Jacksonville, Florida, that's an area where we did have a tornado warning when we went live. Basically, we're kind of covering the Dayton, Ohio tornado warning though. There is a little bit of rotation. It's trying to rotate. It's kind of struggling, but there is a storm trying to rotate over there. We'll hop over to that in a second as well, but that is a new update that we're getting on that storm. And also, we did have moments ago a rapidly rotating storm near Eaton, Ohio from somebody on Twitter. Might be some rotation. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning update, by the way. The Utah storm, the Utah storm back over here near Hurricane, that has now been downgraded to half sized hail. So no longer at ping pong ball sized hail. This one, again, has been upgraded to golf ball sized hail. Let me go over to the Eaton, Ohio storm first, and we'll go to Jacksonville. We do have a report that there's been some rotation on this storm. I believe this is near this region. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we're talking about this storm, right? Let me go over to Eaton, Ohio. I know a few people actually live in Eaton, Ohio. Let me figure out where this is, though, first. We had some reports of some rotation. Actually, this is west of Dayton, Ohio. Was this from earlier? Not sure when this report was. Somebody just sent that in, though. Because Eaton, Ohio is west of Dayton, so that was from earlier. That must have been the cell that went through Dayton. My bad. So that was a report from earlier. I do apologize. Let's go to the Jacksonville storm, though. We had some rotation reported down near Jacksonville. We'll take a look at this. We also have several pea-sized hail reports on this storm, too. This is a storm that was tornado warned at one point. And yeah, there is a little bit it's trying to rotate in a couple of areas. One near Fruit Cove, there's a little bit of rotation back up that way. Kind of in the center of the storm where it's rain wrapped as well. There's been a little bit of rotation. It's not too impressive. It's kind of your sort of typical Florida, I would say, rotation where you have these sort of brief instances of tornadoes. But yeah, from our latest report on Twitter, it was about a few minutes ago that we had a little report, though, of maybe a little bit of rotation on that cell. So it might be something to watch as that moves down to the south and west. If you're just tuning in, hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to hit the like button. I'm not sure how long I'll be live for. We'll see if anything develops, though. We do have a few rotating cells, so I'm going to stay live as long as we have a little bit of rotation with some of these storms right now. But again, the one near Jacksonville might be something to watch. I'm actually going to stay on this one here for a second. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, coming in. Let me figure out where that is. We do have a new warning coming in. That may be... Okay, so we have a new one in Ohio. This is off to the north of Cincinnati. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Again, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Waynesville, Harveysburg, Lebanon. Springboro has kind of already been hit by the storm, but this one's moving off to the east at 20 miles per hour. Again, that's kind of the associated broken line of storms that is currently moving off to the east. This one, again, the storm off to the north had some rotation earlier, so this might be a little area to watch. But as of right now, I'm not seeing any rotation with this specific cell. But again, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning here, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. It does include the main locations are Greene, Ohio, and Warren, Ohio. Those are the areas affected by this storm. And again, as well as Corwin, Harveysburg, Spring Valley, Fort Ancient, a few other areas included. We have a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued for Ohio. That is back actually in an area that we have not looked at. We have a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued. And good thing I stayed live. Tornado warning up near Madison. This is, again, a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued up in northeastern Ohio. Seek shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible. If you're up here in northeastern Ohio, that does include Fort Madison, Geneva are included. This is near Interstate 90. This is moving off to the east. This is a storm that seems to be rapidly strengthening. Let's go over to the velocities on this storm. And this is a look at as of right now. That is your rotation. It's right about there. So that's going to be really going probably towards Interstate 90, 534, moving off to the east. Again, a brand new tornado warning has been issued. Seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. The tornado warning, by the way, does go until 6 o'clock tonight. So another dangerous cell that has now been tornado warned moving off to the east. This could very well pose a tornado at any time. Let me go over to here. So that's, again, that's your area of rotation as of right now, moving off to the east and east-northeast at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Definitely a storm to watch. Again, if you know anybody in this area, make sure you give them a little call, a text, something like that. Make sure they're aware that there is a tornado warning in their area. This storm does seem like it's trying to strengthen pretty quickly here. Here's a look at the velocities again. That seems to be very strong rotation now in the latest scan. That is a very strong rotation. Let's go over to the correlation coefficient, not indicating anything yet. But that is, again, very strong rotation here, heading towards Interstate 90 and 307 and 534. That is a big upgrade from a second ago, by the way. This is definitely a rapidly strengthening storm moving off to the east. Again, brand new tornado warning here. This is a radar indicated rotation as of right now. Again, that is very strong rotation, though, that we're seeing on this cell. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. It's been updated for a little storm over in Jefferson, New York. Hail threat has been decreased. That's a new hail, little report, by the way. But other than that, again, we're primarily focused on the tornado warning. Again, strong rotation heading towards Interstate 90, 307, 534, south of Geneva, and kind of just southeast right now, Madison. Moving off to the east-northeast. Again, this is a storm that has rapidly been strengthening. This is a very new instance right now of this tornado warning. Definitely a storm to watch as this moves off to the east and east-northeast. This was not a cell, by the way, that we're really looking at, but this one's really quickly strengthened. Definitely a storm to watch very closely as this moves off to the east. Hey, stay safe, Chuck. Yeah, this is definitely a storm to watch, though. I mean, this is, yeah, Madison, I'm pretty sure is a little more of a populated area. Definitely a storm to watch closely here. We go over to Twitter. We'll see if we have any reports coming out on the storm so far. Again, Madison, this storm does have a little bit more of an opening. So if there is a tornado, we'll probably have more information on it, or even a funnel cloud. We'll probably have more reports if there's somebody, you know, if there's a storm chaser out here. Again, if you are a resident in this area, though, make sure you're seeking shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. Do not be trying to look out your window to see this, because it's a very dangerous situation. If this is able to potentially hit the ground, we could definitely see some sort of tornado here briefly. This is, again, the latest update on the radar. We're getting another update right now, so we'll get an update on the velocities. That is a pretty quick tightening of the rotation here back over in northeastern Ohio. Definitely a storm to watch very closely. And here's the latest radar update. Seems weakened in the latest scan, which might be good news. Here's a look at the radar. And it seems to be rain wrap now. If there is any rotation still remaining, that is probably going to be a rain wrap situation. Let's hop over to the correlation coefficient again. And the correlation coefficient has not shown anything quite yet in terms of anything being on the ground. So that's, again, very good news so far. But definitely still a storm to watch as it moves off towards Interstate 90, 534, and 307. Definitely be a storm to watch very closely. We go over to the, let's go back to the live radar. We'll keep it on that for right now. Again, this is your area of rotation. Again, this is radar indicated rotation moving towards Interstate 90, 307, south of Geneva. Again, if you're in northeast Ohio, that is currently where we are. Make sure you're seeking shelter. Again, away from windows, lowest floor possible. Yeah, Ohio's been actually, again, there was a tornado threat from the Storm Prediction Center yesterday, but no longer any sort of tornado potential. And I'm kind of surprised they removed it, because there was actually enough to the point where we could see a brief tornado, but there's just, the low-level jet and the low-level shear are a lot weaker than what was forecasted yesterday. So that's kind of why they got rid of it. But it's actually been fairly active this afternoon, to say the least, and it's more of a damaging wind threat today. But this is definitely another exception that we're having with that maybe low-end tornado potential today. All right, so just as somebody that's saying in chat, Julie said that Geneva has a big state park on Lake Erie. Luckily, I don't think this is going to go towards the state park, but good point there. So it seems like it's a bit of a, weekend vacationing spot potentially back up here just off to the north of Geneva. So obviously, this is definitely going to be an area that we might have some vacationers that might also not be aware of this storm. So again, if you know anybody in this area, make sure that you're giving them a call or text. Make sure they're aware of this storm as it moves off to the east and northeast. It's going to be definitely a storm to watch very closely. And we currently have 1 tornado warning, 5 severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, this is our ongoing tornado warning. Rotation in the latest scan seems to still be a little bit broader than before. Again, watch it closely. It was a lot stronger back near 528, but it does seem like it's broadened out a little bit. Again, it could recycle at any time, though, so watch this one closely. Does seem like that rotation, though, is definitely becoming rain-wrapped and a little bit more unorganized, which might be good news, at least if it's becoming unorganized. But obviously, rain-wrapped situation is never a good thing, especially with people out maybe on the roadways, especially around 5:30 or 6:30 technically Eastern time right now, moving off to the east-northeast. And again, we are currently in northeast Ohio if you're just tuning in. This is a storm that has been newly tornado warned, a rapidly strengthening storm heading towards areas south of Geneva, really anywhere along Interstate 90. Again, this is west of 45S for reference. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Let me back over to Twitter. Let me take a look and see if we have any new reports coming in from this area. Let's see if we have any new reports on this ongoing tornado warned cell. And make sure you're getting to your safe place if you're anywhere south or even in Geneva, east of Madison. That is, again, where our ongoing rotation is. This is impacting about 17,000 residents. So it is definitely a little bit of more of a small city, I would say, but definitely an area that we have to watch very closely for as this moves off towards 307, as well as Interstate 90. Trying to see if we have any reports coming in. I don't think we have any yet, and there's not been any confirmation of a funnel cloud or anything like that yet, but definitely be a cell to watch. Again, it very well could produce a tornado potential at any time. And the rotation, by the way, was very strong back just to the south of Madison. So we had some strong rotation there briefly. There may have been a brief tornado, but again, it's kind of hard to confirm at this point. There's nothing on the correlation coefficient. Even yesterday, we saw a couple of brief tornadoes. There just never was anything on the correlation coefficient. So there very well may have been a brief tornado back near 528. That's not out of the question at this point. So definitely something to keep in mind. By the way, again, if you're just tuning in, hit the like button. We're 6 likes from 150. If you hit the like button, it'll help get this more out to more people that might be in this tornado warning. And that's kind of all I gotta say. Let me go over to, we have a new update, by the way, a severe thunderstorm warning for Washington, Utah. There's a new update on that for ping pong ball sized hail. That warning has changed to ping pong ball sized hail. It was originally golf ball size. So just another update on that warning. All right, back to the tornado warning. Let's go back over to the velocities. And let's take a look and see if we have anything too crazy going here. And it seems like it's trying to recycle here. We do have a little bit more winds now going away from the radar. Again, winds going towards the radar have been strongest at this point, but it seems like we may be having a little bit of a recycling stage. Again, it's still broad, but it will be something to watch because, again, it was stronger back near 528. So this cell, again, is discrete. So it very well could maybe recycle as this moves off to the east. And eventually maybe even be going towards just areas west of Jefferson. So Jefferson may also be an area to watch as this moves off to the east. Again, this is northeast of Cleveland, Ohio. This is pretty much northeastern Ohio right now that we're in. It's pretty far northeastern Ohio, the area that we're in as of right now. Again, area of rotation is currently centered just about there, moving towards 307, as well as 534. Going towards Interstate 90 over the next several minutes. Let me put a track on this, actually. I haven't done that yet. Let's go and put a track on this, give you an idea of locations out in front of it. Again, you'll have to add an hour to the time because I am, again, in Central Time. I accidentally did that when I got on stream, but this is a look at the areas impacted by the storm. I'm going to add an hour to all of this time, by the way. This does include Edgewood at 6:57, North Kingsville at 7:10, Albion right around 7:52, as well as Cranesville right around 7:56, Plata right around 7:59, Garrard right around 8:03, and Middleborough right around 8:26. Again, that's your timing on this cell that's moving currently off to the east-northeast. We do have a report. Caden just reported in west of Cleveland some pea-sized hail. Thank you, Caden. So we have a little bit of small hail over west of Cleveland. That storm has actually been producing probably at least a little bit of gusty winds too, but that's our latest report there. All right, sounds good, Evan. So we do have a live cam coming out of Geneva, by the way, but a lot of rain. That's what we're looking at as of right now. A lot of rain in this area. I'm pretty sure that's right along the lake region, but yeah, definitely a lot of heavy rain. That is definitely something to keep in mind. Again, it is a bit of a popular weekend kind of spot. We are on a Sunday right now. A lot more people are out there, especially on a Sunday. So I know there's a state park off to the north. Julie did mention it. More people might be out and about, especially up here north of Geneva. So maybe an area to watch pretty closely as this again moves off to the east. All right, let's go back. Let's see. So as of right now, next radar scan just came in, I believe. Let's go back to the velocities and see if there's any new updates on that. And again, here's your area rotation. It's, again, not the strongest area, but we'll have to watch it again closely. It could very well recycle as that moves off to the east-northeast. It's actually been pretty much, for the most part right now, going off to the east. So if it does continue its easterly trajectory with this ongoing area of rotation, Jefferson could potentially be in the track of this in the near future. But obviously there's a lot of time in between now and then, and there's a good chance it could weaken before it gets there, but we will see what happens. Again, if you are just south of Geneva, make sure you're seeking shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible in Ohio. I'll take a look at other warnings here in a second. We're primarily focusing on the tornado warning, but I know there are some other storms that have a little bit of rotation as well. We're going to get to those here pretty soon, but main focus will be any ongoing tornado warnings. Storm as of right now, again, moving east-northeast at about 25 miles per hour. There's also maybe a little bit of small hail, obviously not much of a concern, but more of a tornado threat right now with this cell as it moves off to the east-northeast. Will it make it to Erie, Pennsylvania? It possibly could. There are a couple of storms, I think, up that direction, but it's kind of long track to this point. Again, tornado warning like this one probably will only last so long. It's not going to be a storm that's, tornado warned for 5 hours straight. I mean, we've seen some crazy storms before, but this is not a storm where we're looking at a long-term situation. It's most likely going to be a short-term and short-lived tornado warning. Again, we had some strong rotation back near Madison, just south of Madison at the beginning of this warning, but recently it does not seem like it's been rotating nearly as much. We do have a new update on the tornado warning, by the way. It is going to still go, it seems like, until 6 o'clock. The latest National Weather Service update still has this warning going until 6 o'clock. They have not canceled it by any means, so if you're still anywhere in Geneva, make sure you're seeking shelter. But the warning has been updated to quarter-sized hail. There is potentially some quarter-sized hail here just along and north of Interstate 90, so just something to keep in mind. If you're back up near Geneva, make sure you're aware of this as well. There might be some quarter-sized hail coming your direction. That will also be moving off right along probably Interstate 90, moving towards potentially 84 and as well as Highway 20. Back over to the live radar. And let's go back over to the velocities actually first. Oop, I did not mean to do that. Here's a look at the velocities as of right now. Again, we do still have a little bit of rotation here south of Interstate 90. Again, it's moving off to the east-northeast. Still a storm to watch closely. But that is, again, moving off to the east-northeast. Again, that'll be going towards 307, Interstate 90. And again, 534, this is also be crossing over in the next several minutes. So keep that in mind. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior of your house. Again, south of Geneva is where this area of rotation currently is. Again, it could recycle at any time as this does move off to the east and east-northeast. Check Discord for photos. Let me take a look. Yeah, so again, this tornado warning was updated, so it's still ongoing till 6 o'clock for right now. Again, quarter-sized hail is our new upgraded on this warning. Near Bowling Green. Okay, I'll take a look at it here pretty soon. I'm not sure if it's a hook. It might just be a little bit of a false hook. We see that quite often, but... Hey, y'all, no arguing with the mods. I don't know what happened, but just everybody chill. There's no reason to argue. This is not a place to argue. Let's just chill. There is a set of rules, by the way. Again, rules are pretty simple here, but again, those are on a Discord server. I don't know what happened. All right, back over to the ongoing tornado warning. Again, let's go back to the velocities. We do have our latest radar update. And still, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation in the latest scans. Again, the overall rotation would be down here, and the reds and greens are pretty split apart, which basically usually means that we have some pretty broad or weak rotation as of right now. Again, it could recycle as it moves off to the east-northeast, but we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if the tornado warning does continue, though, for at least another few minutes, kind of see if it does start to re-strengthen at all. But if it doesn't re-strengthen and re-grip itself, I don't think we're going to see this tornado warning for too much longer as it moves towards Interstate 90 as well as 307 and really cross over 534 over the next few minutes. But it is a pretty, again, the population isn't huge in this area, but it is definitely enough to the point where we should at least keep this warning for now in case it does recycle in the next few minutes. But again, we'll be moving off to the east-northeast. Again, this is in northeast Ohio. I'll go over to the Bowling Green storm here pretty soon, though. We'll take a look at that after this tornado warning does either get canceled or whatnot. But there was apparently maybe a little hook developing there near Bowling Green. We'll take a look at that here pretty shortly. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, hit the subscribe button down below. It's free to do. Most honest forecasting here on YouTube. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, the red button, as well as make sure to hit the like button. It helps our page out a lot. Helps us get out to more people that might be in this tornado warning, again, near Geneva in northeastern Ohio. Again, we do have a couple of other storms that have been rotating as well, but for right now, this is the main one that is, again, tornado warned. We do have a mesoscale discussion, by the way, that was issued for northwest Arizona, southwest Utah, and southeast Las Vegas for some strong to maybe some severe storms with the potential for damaging winds and isolated large hail. That is a new update, by the way. So just kind of heads up. There's no watch expected to be issued, but there may be some damaging winds and large hail over that direction. Thank you, Ryan, for the report. Yeah, the wind has been, honestly, well, with mostly storms, if any threat is really going to happen, it's probably going to be more of a wind threat. Obviously, we could potentially see an isolated brief tornado like this sort of situation that we're looking at near Geneva. There may be some sort of brief instance, but it does seem like this storm is not really rotating or as organized as before. Again, it might be something to watch over the next several minutes, but I do think the overall storm is most likely weakening right now as this does move off to the east. But we'll have to watch it closely. Again, going towards 534, 307, Interstate 90, definitely be a storm to watch over the next several minutes. But again, rotation seems to be a bit broader than before, but we'll watch it closely as it moves off that direction. Again, Jefferson may be in the track of this as well, so something to keep in mind there. Thank you, Tori, by the way, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it, Tori. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support. Hey, Ro, how you doing? Welcome back. How's it going? And by the way, if you're a truck driver along Interstate 90, there is a potential for maybe some isolated damaging winds with this storm as well. So make sure you're just kind of taking those proper precautions, maybe pull over, take a little break. Again, this storm is definitely pretty strong. If there's not even a tornado, there definitely could be some damaging winds with this one. And also, again, quarter-sized hail could damage vehicles. So definitely make sure you're keeping that in mind. Again, the storm's moving pretty slowly as of right now. It is going through Geneva and as well as the areas just along and south of Interstate 90. Again, your rotation is down here as of right now. We do have a hail threat, though, back up here near Geneva that could potentially be some quarter-sized hail. So that's just something to keep in mind, again, as it moves off to the east and east-northeast over the next several minutes. By the way, just an update on warnings as of right now. We do again have this one tornado warning in northeast Ohio. We also have an ongoing four severe thunderstorm warnings. We also have 4 special marine warnings and 15 flash flood warnings. So there's kind of an update on the warning count as of right now across the United States. Again, the severe thunderstorm warnings have been kind of scattered around the United States. We have a couple, I think, in Utah. Beyond that, they're kind of just all over the place. Obviously, the one tornado warning right now is in northeastern Ohio. That would make sense. We've had already a couple of tornado warnings here this afternoon. We had one back in Dayton, Ohio, by the way, if you were tuning in at the beginning of the stream. There was also a tornado warning earlier, about not even an hour ago, back in Duval County, near Jacksonville, Florida. So there was also that. Let's go back over to the velocities. It does seem like it's trying to maybe organize a little bit more, but still seems like we still have a little bit broad rotation. Again, it's going to be something to watch. It does seem like it's trying to get a little bit more of that hook shape, though, on the bottom of this storm. You can kind of see it. It's trying to develop a little bit more again. It kind of looked more like linear almost. It kind of looked like a straight line up and down, but it does seem like it's trying to shape itself maybe a little bit to maybe have a little bit more rotation as this moves off to the east and east-northeast. Let me go a little bit higher up real quick. We'll see if there's any rotation a little bit higher up, and this is a little bit off the ground. It still seems like we have a little bit of rotation, maybe a little bit higher in the higher elevation, so still something to watch. I'm not sure if we're going to get a new tornado warning, if any, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, it might strengthen, so we'll watch it closely as it moves off to the east-northeast. New thunderstorm warning for that cell in Dayton, Ohio. Is there? All right, so we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, or an updated one, for Greene, Ohio, and Warren, Ohio. I don't think we have any warning, though, for Dayton. But there is one south of Dayton that is warned. I know that. But I don't think we have a new warning for Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio is actually kind of out of the storms now. The storms are primarily off to the east now. Guys, if you have any issues, by the way, with a mod, timeout, ban, anything like that, feel free to message me on Discord. Let's not have it in the chat, though. Thank you. Thank you, Parker, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Welcome. Any more arguing? You're just going to get timed out by me. We don't need arguing here. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, back over to the radar though. Let me go back over to the velocities as of right now. We'll take a look. Again, we are probably going to get another radar update. Let's see. Actually, it's going to be coming in here in a second, so we'll wait for the velocities. Again, still broad rotation on the latest scan. We'll see what the next one shows. I'm not sure if there's going to be much of an increase, though, in the rotation near 534 and areas along and south of Interstate 90. But we'll see what happens. Again, that's where a rotation is. Geneva seems like they've already got hit with the worst of the storm, by the way, but those just south of there, definitely make sure you're still mindful of this storm. It seems like that quarter-sized tail has also kind of faded out here. I'm not seeing nearly as much of the pinks and kind of those little brighter pinks even in this area, which usually represents a little bit of that quarter to maybe $half size tail. It does seem like, though, we've seen a bit of a decrease overall in the hail activity, so it seems like the storm may be weakening out a little bit. So we go over to the velocities. We have a new radar update. We'll take a look. And still not seeing a whole lot. Again, we're not really seeing a huge increase or anything like that in this tornado warning. It still seems to be pretty much the same as before. We have a little bit more rotation, as I mentioned before, higher up. But the tornado warning is still ongoing for another 14 minutes. We'll see if it gets canceled or continues. We'll see. We do have a report coming out of Geneva, by the way, of some hail. And dime-sized hail is reported kind of in the downtown area of Geneva. So that's our latest update there. So we do have a little bit of at least small hail falling there. Again, quarter-sized hail is what it's currently warned for as of right now. And moving currently off to the east-northeast. Bowling Green storm. I'll take a look real quick. Let's see if we have any radar sites nearby. I think this might be the closest one. So Bowling Green. Somebody said there might have been some rotation on this cell. It looks really unorganized. Do we have a better radar site anywhere nearby? I don't think we have any good radar sites. I'll go back to that storm once I can figure out when we have a good radar site. But it doesn't seem like that organized of a storm from the initial get-go of that storm. But apparently somebody said there was rotation on it. I'll take a look. Everything for Fort Worth, Texas, just rain. And honestly, it's been pretty quiet so far today. I think that rain activity will increase, though, tonight. I'm looking at the velocities on the Bowling Green storm. That looks extremely weak. I don't see really any rotation there. So, I don't see anything right now, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, I've heard somebody said there might be rotation on that. Doesn't look like there's any, though, as of right now. We do have a photo coming out of Harveysburg, Ohio. And it's a shelf cloud. Here's a look at it. Coming out of Harveysville, Ohio. A little shelf cloud in the background there. So, little photo coming out of there. I don't even know where this is from. This is from James Nelson. Coming out of Harveysburg, Ohio at 6:30. So, again, that's in Eastern time. I apologize. The time at the top left is in Central time. But we are in Eastern time in this time zone. Obviously, we're in Northeastern Ohio. But there's a new little photo that we have coming out of there. I don't care about viewer count, but as long as people are staying safe, that's all that matters at this point. Hopefully everybody, again, whoever's watching, hopefully you're aware of the storm. Again, this is currently in Northeast Ohio, moving it really just south of Geneva as of right now. It is moving off to the east. Jefferson, anywhere along Interstate 90, most likely going to be in the track of this storm over the next several minutes. That's what we're looking at as of right now with this cell. The Bowling Green storm, yeah, somebody just sent in a photo. It doesn't look like it's really rotating, but it does seem like it has a good rain shaft, at least a lot of rain with that. I'm definitely not seeing anything too crazy on that one. We do have a new update, by the way, on the Warren, Ohio severe thunderstorm warning. It no longer includes Greene, Ohio. I believe, I'm not sure if that, is that counties, Rogue? Is Rogue here? I'm not sure if that's counties. I'm not sure what the affected areas means, but we do have a new update. Again, damaging winds around 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail for Warren, Ohio. That is our new update there. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, I heard. But that storm didn't look like it was rotating, but I'll keep an eye on it. More of a gusty wind situation, if anything, right now. Definitely a decent rain shaft, though. Nice little thunderstorm. Hey, Hype Beast, how you doing? Welcome back. Yes, Shannon, yep. We have photos coming through Twitter. If you want to send in any photos, feel free to send them in through our Discord server or even tweet them on Twitter. Again, those are linked down in the description below. If I find any cool photos, you'll be able to find those on our Twitter, by the way. The link is in the description below. If you want to join our Discord server, that link will be in the chat from Nightbot. Again, you can join our community off the stream as well. Post a lot of photos and stuff like that on there. We're pretty interactive over there as well. All right. Thank you, Julie. Welcome back. Oh, yeah. I'm doing good. How about you, Jackson? I'm doing pretty good. It's been busy already. I mean, it's actually been a pretty busy stream so far. We've already had 2 tornado warnings. The one near Dane was obviously a bit more scary because that was, again, being a more populated region. Luckily, this is not nearly as populated, but regardless, it is definitely still a dangerous storm that, again, has had rotation for a while here. Luckily, it seems like it's kind of fizzling out, though. Again, the tornado warning is still ongoing. We'll see if it gets canceled, but I do not see a whole lot left in this. I think it's kind of lost its overall organization. You can kind of see it's not really defined anymore with any rotation. There might be a little bit of some gusty winds or small hail here, but it definitely seems like it's weakened out for the most part. And we'll see if it gets canceled. I'm not sure if it will, but again, this is near Interstate 90, south of Geneva. But for now, the tornado warning is still ongoing. We do still have a severe thunderstorm warning back down west, or north, excuse me, of Cincinnati. The storm near Cincinnati actually looks really impressive. We're gonna go to that here next, but it does seem like we have a pretty impressive supercell back down there in southwestern Cincinnati right now. Or excuse me, southwestern Ohio, not southwestern Cincinnati. Southwestern Ohio, north of Cincinnati, though. As of right now, we have a pretty decent storm over that direction. So keep you updated with the latest on that one. That one seems to be pretty impressive, though, right now. Thank you, Slippy. So we have a large hail core over in Utah. There's actually been some pretty decent storms over there so far. There's definitely been some pretty decent hailstorms. I don't know why I just said hailers, but pretty crazy storms over there. By the way, we're only 32 subscribers from 16,250. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, it's free to do. I would appreciate it. And we do live streams like this all the time. Most honest forecasting here on YouTube. We have forecasts almost every day. Would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button down below. Let's go real quickly down to the other storm. I know the tornado warning is still ongoing. Not a whole lot of rotations left. This is the other storm I'm talking about, which we'll take a little bit more of a look at here in a moment. But there is definitely some high winds with this near Interstate 71. There is currently warned for quarter-sized hail. Might be slightly larger than that, but the winds are very impressive. The velocities have been really showing some higher winds, especially these brighter greens there west of 71. So there might be some 60 to 65 mile per hour gusty winds, but that's a cell to watch really closely too as that moves over to the east. But we'll keep you updated with that cell. Again, we're going to stay on the tornado warning as long as it's still going, but I do think the overall rotation is definitely gone at this point. So I would expect this does get canceled by the National Weather Service. But we do have another severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. I'll get to that here in a second. Looking at it as of right now. We do have a new warning for Arizona for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. That is for Yavapai, Arizona. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. There's a new warning there. Right over to here. Have a great night, Scorpion. Appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you again soon. Tornado warning has been canceled. Let me just double check. Still shows on Radar Scope. I'm kind of surprised. I'm really surprised the warning is actually still ongoing. Let me take a look at the details, though. Yeah, it's still ongoing for right now, but honestly, I don't see much rotation left with this. But again, if you're in this area, just make sure you're still staying in shelter for the next few minutes. But it does seem like the overall rotation is definitely kind of fizzled out here. No tanks. The record, I think, is 1.6K. We have a photo coming in from Scott Kelly in Beaver Creek, Ohio. This is the storm that we're looking at a little while ago. This is the one that was tornado warned down in Dayton, Ohio. So very impressive cloud structure here over that direction. Now the storm itself was rotating. It was tornado warned. It was a rain wrap situation. So the tornado, if there was one, would be back in the storm, which you can't obviously see. So this is the storm again from earlier that was a rain wrapped tornado warning. So that's another little thing that we got there. Definitely another impressive cell. Thank you, Dylan, as well as Smiles, Jason, Donald, Linda, and as well as B for all subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Thank you all for subscribing. Really do appreciate it. And we are we're still only about 22 subscribers from 16,250. That'll be the goal for tonight. 22 more subscribers. That'll be it. Hey, Sam, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, I think this warning, I'm surprised it wasn't canceled already, but I just don't see much left with it. It might be something to watch maybe later on, but it does seem like the overall structure of it is just kind of, it's not organized anymore. It was more organized at the beginning. And let me go back in time, actually, while we have a chance anyway, since the tornado warning is still here. This is back at the beginning, near the beginning of this tornado warning. This is when we had strong rotation. It was back here near Madison. Now I'm going too far back. This was back at, go back to about here. Yeah, you can see the stronger rotation near Madison. This is when we had some pretty strong rotation. That's when the tornado warning basically got issued. It was about 6 minutes after we saw this. Then you can kind of see over the next couple of scans, pretty strong rotation here. So there may have even been a brief tornado. It's kind of hard to tell, though. We haven't had any reports of that. And then the tornado warning finally got issued about 5:23, just south of Interstate 90. We had some pretty strong rotation. So there may have been a tornado with this. It's kind of hard to tell, though. Latest scans, you can kind of see the evolution of it as we go throughout the tornado warning. The rotation has just kind of really fizzled out here as we went throughout the last half an hour or so. There just has not been much reorganization, and the latest scans just show maybe a little bit of gusty winds. So just kind of a little bit of an evolution of the storm from beginning to the end. It was definitely an impressive cell, but it just never really was able to maintain its overall composure. All right, I'm going to take off the tornado warning thing because I don't think there's really any need for it right now. We're pretty much on to a weakening storm anyways. Again, stay in shelter for the next 6 minutes as the warning does continue, but the rotation has definitely really subsided at this point. Still something to watch maybe in the long term. We do have a cell back over near Bowling Green. I had a couple people say there might be some rotation over here. I'm going to see if we have any good view on this storm, but the overall, it's really far away. I'm not seeing anything far away from these radar sites indicating much of any rotation, though, as of right now. The storm, again, was a storm that somebody said there might have been rotation with. Let me go ahead and restart this real quick. My program decided to crash. One moment, please. That might be a storm to watch maybe later on. It is a discrete cell as well, so it might be something to watch. But this is over back near Bowling Green. This is another radar view from here, and I'm not seeing really anything here. There might be something very high up, but it just doesn't seem to be much of any rotation. You can kind of see as we go throughout the higher elevations, nothing really indicated of any sort of rotation. That's even back up there. So as of right now, maybe a strong storm, but it's definitely not really a tornadic storm at this point. I know somebody was mentioning that we did have a little bit of rotation there. It does not seem like we have that ongoing, though, as of right now. Here's the warning, by the way, back down north of Cincinnati. This is the storm I was mentioning before that definitely had a little bit of maybe some hail and damaging winds. The hail core as of right now is north of Interstate 71. That is going to be going towards potentially Clarksville. So that's a storm to watch. Again, make sure you're staying away from windows, quarter-sized to maybe half-dollar sized hail, and 60-mile-per-hour winds possible at this one. As it moves off to the east, let's go over to the hail radar, and let's take a look and see if the hail on radar is being estimated that high or not. It seems like it's definitely probably close to quarter, if not half-dollar sized hail, though. And before the warning got issued, it's estimated around quarter-sized hail or so, maybe up to half-dollar size. Recently, it's been estimated around nickel. I'm not sure if we have any hail reports coming in on this cell, but by the way, the tornado warning has been officially canceled. So it finally got canceled back up there off to the north, but that's good news. So as of right now, we don't have any hail reports on this storm, but that is an update. So no longer any tornado warnings. We are back just to severe thunderstorm warnings for right now, but obviously, we've had a couple of instances where we have storms rotating. I think we still have one in Florida rotating, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll have to take a look at that. All right, let me go back over to some of the other warnings that we have as of right now. Again, the tornado warning back up here in northeastern Ohio. This up here has been canceled. Just for reference, again, the one that we've been covering for the last half an hour or so has been canceled. This is the severe thunderstorm warning back over in southwest Utah, by the way. This is the one that was producing up the ping pong ball sized hail. I'm not sure if it's any longer really going to be severe. Actually, there's a couple of decent hailstorms here in eastern Nevada. We have a couple of good ones here. Both of them probably producing a little bit of hail. At least this one. This one seems to definitely be producing maybe some half-dollar, maybe ping pong ball sized hail. The other one seemingly the same situation. Beyond that, we have a couple of warnings back down in Arizona. We actually have a new one. We have one near Payson. We also have one east of Prescott. Both these producing damaging winds around 60 as well as quarter sized hail. Again, your monsoon weather does continue here. I don't believe either of these are tornado possible, but they are definitely producing some damaging winds up to 60, maybe a little bit of quarter sized hail. We're primarily though focused on any of the storms in Ohio for right now because it's again the area that we have a lot more population in, and obviously the more potential for severe weather over the next hour or so, but that is what we're looking at as of right now. And again, if you have any questions, by the way, feel free to leave those in the chat. I'll be getting to some questions now since we have a little bit of a break in the action. So if you have any questions about anything to do with weather or really anything in general, feel free to leave those in the chat. I'll try to get to them. Alrighty. He said there was a lowering on his stream. I didn't see anything. I don't think there was, but yeah, that storm does not look like it's rotating really at all, but you never know. You never know. All right, let me go back over to here. Let's see. All right, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Gila, Arizona. That's the new one that I was just mentioning. So 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. That's the update on that one. Hey, no problem, Dylan. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm glad I can keep you safe. There's a flash flood warning in South Carolina. Yeah, we can take a look at it. We're only one subscriber, by the way, from 16,250. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate it. Make sure to join our little community. Join the velocity. That's what I like to call it. Make sure to join the velocity. Again, we have the most honest forecast here on YouTube. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Would appreciate it. It's free to do. We do live streams, by the way, all the time, so would appreciate it. Let me go over and see what we're looking at down in South Carolina, though. We'll go ahead and hop over that real quick. There's actually a little flash flood warning. It's actually a considerable threat down here in South Carolina, south of Beaufort and north of Savannah, Georgia. There is a flash flood warning ongoing here. I'm kind of curious to see how much rain we've seen here, because I don't think this is really an area that we're supposed to see too much rain today, but it very well could have been maybe from those typical, summertime storms that we see here quite often. Let me take a look at the last, I'm going to go with the last 12 hours. We'll kind of take a look at how much rain we've seen. It'll take a second to load. We have some rain reports. 6.5 inches actually has fallen in Pritchardville. 6 inches. We've had a couple of reports, 6.5 inches, 6 inches. 5 inches. We've actually had some serious rain reports here in this area, and you can kind of see this big area here, this big dark blue area. As of now, over the last 12 hours, it's estimated about 5 inches, but reports from local weather stations are coming in around 6 inches. So that is pretty impressive. But near Pritchardville, that's again in Beaufort, South Carolina. It's Beaufort County, and also about 6 inches as well. Let me take a look at the notes here real quick. So it's fallen since 5 p.m. Is that just today? So 6.37 inches of rain's fallen since 5 p.m. 4.97 inches fell between 4 to 5. 2.26 inches of rain fell in just 15 minutes between 4:45 to 5 o'clock. That's like that's almost 10 inches of rain per hour. That is insane. That's in Pritchardville. Wow, I've actually never seen that much rain in such a short duration. But that's apparently what we have over here that's near Bluffton, Pritchardville, again, west of Hilton Head Island, southwest of Beaufort. Wow, that's a lot of rain. Again, almost 2.5 inches in 15 minutes. That is almost uncalled for. That's pretty insane. First, you actually bring that up. I wasn't really aware of that. That's pretty incredible. By the way, for those that live in North Texas, I know some of you guys might be from there. The rain as of right now, and I know many of you guys are wondering, where's the rain? We should see more rain going into the evening hours. That's kind of what's forecasted, but so far, it's actually not. We've only seen a lot of light rain so far. More storm activity here in Northeast Texas. Again, there's projected to be between 3 to 6 inches of rain in some spots, maybe as high as 10 inches across portions of North Texas. There is a moderate threat for flash flooding, by the way, across this region. Let me go and bring that up real quick, if I can find it. Here we go. So this is a look at today's threat. There's a moderate threat for flash flooding in Northeast Texas today. There's a slight risk outside of that. There are areas actually in southern Oklahoma that have seen some significant rainfall tonight, or already today. I'm going to go and bring that up as well. We've already seen several inches of rain across this region. This is the last 24 hours, and wait for it to load here real quick. But we've seen a lot of rain over here already. But really, North Texas has stayed bone dry for a lot of areas so far. But the cool down's obviously much welcomed. I know a lot of you guys are from North Texas, so I'm going to kind of go over it real quick. But rainfall totals along these southern Oklahoma areas have reached around 6 to 7 inches. So that's just kind of for reference. Burke Burnett near 6 or about 4 to 5 inches over there. Kind of see though in Fort Worth and whatnot, rainfall totals between nothing to an inch so far. But we are expected to see more rainfall, obviously more from where that came from most likely. Back up in Ohio, I know there's a flash flood warning southeast of Columbus. We've seen some rainfall totals between 4 to 5 inches of rain, so that's what we've seen so far in terms of rainfall. Obviously, this area, we also had actually a new report coming in. It was a couple hours ago, but apparently there was a fallen tree at the Monday Creek Township Road area. So we do have a report coming in from over there of that as of right now. Also, we do have a flash flood report coming in of high water on 13,000 block on State Route 669. And we also have water over a portion of Route 664 near intersection with Logan Horns Mill Road. So a couple of reports coming in. And obviously, as I mentioned before, South Carolina seemingly has been the worst area for rain today. And it's kind of crazy to think, again, southwestern South Carolina near Beaufort had approximately 6.5 inches of rainfall, which again, almost 2.5 inches happened in 15 minutes. So that's insane. Back near Lebanian, we do have a new report coming in, by the way. This is from that severe thunderstorm warning storm from before. This is for wires down on US 42. So if you're in the Lebanian area, make sure you're aware of that. Also to the north of that, near Beaver Creek, we also have trees uprooted and siding from buildings ripped off. Possible tornado, actually, from about an hour ago. This is the area where we did have a tornado warning. So there may have possibly been a tornado in Beaver Creek. And I mentioned that before. The rotation was pretty tight-knit for a while. So there actually may have been a tornado near Beaver Creek from earlier, about an hour ago when we were live. We were covering that tornado warning. So that is a new update there. I have a flash flood report coming in west of Cleveland of several roads flooded around Elyria. So another report coming in there as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. And that is, again, a new report that we have coming in of maybe a tornado from earlier near Beaver Creek. By the way, Bluffton, South Carolina, an update on that. This is somebody from Facebook. A lot of water on roads in Bluffton. As I mentioned before, 6.5 inches of rain fell in a short amount of time. East ramp from southbound 170 onto 278 was flooded around 445. Had to get on 278 from the northbound ramp. Started to get better around Malforus, if I'm saying them right. North end of Hilton Head didn't get quite as much rain, but still some thunder now. So new report coming in there from Bluffton, South Carolina, where we saw an extreme amount of rainfall happen in really a short amount of time there. So that is, again, our new report there. And yeah, we do have some severe, we have some very strong storms, if not severe, over in Nevada. None of them are warned, but they have some pretty decent hail cores there. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, hit the like button down below. Would appreciate it. We are only 32 likes away or something like that from 400. And also, we're 7 subscribers away from 16,300. Hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. It's free to do. The most honest forecast here on YouTube. All right, let me get some questions. I haven't really been answering much stuff, but let me get some questions. I kind of got distracted with that insane flash flooding going down in South Carolina so far. So, eating KFC on a rainy Sunday. Nice. Texas has been seeing some decent rain. It hasn't been much, but, you know, we'll anywhere in Texas, we'll take what we can get at this point. Rain has been so abysmal there recently. We have a new special weather statement, by the way, north of Lima. That is for 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That is a storm that somebody said there was a lowering on. I didn't see anything, but I have not seen any photos or evidence of that so far. But there has been a report of that from earlier. I am not entirely sure, though, how accurate that is. But I've seen somebody say that a couple times in chat. Hey, Brandy, how you doing? Appreciate it. Appreciate you subscribing. Anything heading towards southeast Utah? Southeast Utah, I don't think you'll see much. I think it's primarily for those in southwest Utah. So, Mike, I think you'll be all right. I think most of that severe storm activity should be staying off to your west. We have another shelf cloud photo, by the way, coming in from... Where is this again? This is over at Beaver Creek. This is from the possible tornado. It's kind of hard to see here. You really have to zoom in, but apparently a little shelf cloud here near Beaver Creek. That's about it. And this seems to be more, again, this looks almost like a funnel cloud or a tornado. That's more of scud action more than anything. But that is a new report that we're getting in from Dave on Twitter. That is over in Beaver Creek, Ohio. Again, that area maybe had a tornado earlier for maybe a brief amount of time. That was, again, the storm that we're watching at the very beginning of the stream that was tornado warned. So just heads up there. Let me update the warning count, by the way. I haven't done that in a second. We have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings as of right now. I'm primarily going to be staying over here, though, in Ohio for right now, as we kind of cover these storms over this direction. Do I have an idea of what my schedule is for this week on live streams? I have no clue. They're just kind of whenever there's severe weather, I'll go live. Breeze, I do live streams really often. I mean, I do almost every severe weather event that needs to be noted, and a lot of tornado warnings. I mean, I go, I'll be honest with you, I've done live streams every day for weeks straight. I mean, I've done that this summer, so I do live streams very often. So I do go live for a lot of these severe weather events. So if you're ever in any area in the United States, feel free to subscribe. I'll keep you updated with your severe weather as well. Feel free to ask me questions again on Discord and as well as on Twitter, any social media page, even on YouTube. Feel free to comment some questions. I'm always answering those sort of things quite often, at least. I can't answer everything, but I can answer most of the stuff. Again, we do this all the time, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. We do live streams quite often. Do we have anything to retweet, by the way, Evan? I'm not sure if we've had any photos or anything like that coming in. I don't think I've retweeted anything on Twitter yet. Hey, stay safe, Hype Beast. That is insane, though. I mean, 7 inches in an hour. I mean, that's still mind-boggling to me. There was actually a funnel cloud reported earlier down here, and I didn't even really mention that. It was north of Savannah. We had a funnel cloud reported along with the flash flooding. Again, 5 inches of rain fell near Jasper, South Carolina. Another area with around, let's see. Yeah, so closure on the off-ramp at Ocady Highway and Highway 278, Fording Island Road. Webcam shows flooded waters. Hey, Evan, do you know what the webcam is for this one in Jasper? Curious to see if we have any videos on that. That's southwest. Actually, I might be able to look. Let's see if we have a traffic cam on this. This is over in South Carolina. We'll see if we can see anything on this flooding. Again, 6 inches or almost 7 inches of rain fell in like an hour or two here near Bluffton. So I am kind of curious to see if we have any sort of photos or videos here. This area. We do have a view on it. It's not the best view, but it is a little view. This is a very blurry picture. This is just one look, though, at it in South Carolina. It is extremely blurry, as I said before, but that is pretty wet roadways, at least. That's all we really can see there. I'm curious to see, though, if we have any better camera views on this from the South Carolina area. Let me go see if I have anything better quality to kind of show you guys. But yeah, 6-7 inches of rain is kind of insane to think in just an hour. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing any good videos or photos. Obviously, people are traveling very slow on the roadways too. So that is just something to keep in mind. Very slow travels in this area due to all the rain that we've seen. So just kind of add to what we've already kind of seen in this area. But yeah, 7 inches of rain. That's insane. Is there still a lot of instability in Ohio? Let me take a look for you. I'm pretty sure the instability values are not overly high today, but I will take a look for you. Let's go over to the instability. And for those that are not really familiar with what instability is basically what fuels thunderstorms. You can almost think of it as gasoline to a vehicle, but more of supercell thunderstorms, I should say. Instability is not always needed in terms of CAPE, but yeah, you can kind of see the instability is not overly impressive today. Let me take off the radar real quick. The instability across the board really is diminished across Columbus and whatnot. This is the area that we've already seen a lot of storm activity, so that makes sense. We're looking at between 500 to 1,000. Other areas, though, back near Dayton, looking around 2,000 joules per kilogram. Those values are also probably dropping now since storm activity's also gone through those areas, but that's what we're looking at in terms of instability as of right now. There's been a lot of instability with these storms, too. By the way, thank you, Scott, Brian, Lisa, Shock, Matthew, Nick, Perry, Tony. There's a lot of names. Brian, Tori, Christina, Denise, Money, as well as Tamara for all subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Thank you all for subscribing. All right, let me see. All right, sounds good. I was trying to figure out if we had anything on live cams. The traffic cam does not seem like we have that one. There's, again, for those that might be just tuning in, we had some extreme flooding down in south portions of South Carolina, back near Beaufort. So, kind of curious to see if we had any photos or videos. We haven't had any, I don't think, come in, though, yet. Our goal for tonight, by the way, if we can get to 500 likes, only 53 away, I would appreciate it. Beyond that, that's my only goal for tonight. And subscribers, obviously, but it doesn't really matter. All right. How much good traffic games? Yeah, it's actually pretty incredible how much rain, though, fell down there in the Carolinas. And honestly, I don't think that area was included in an outlook today. Let me take a look real quick in the Weather Prediction Center's outlook. Yeah, crazy enough, that area was not included in a outlook, at least for flash flooding, which obviously we do quite often see flash flood warnings get issued, and significant rainfall sometimes happens outside of areas that might, that are not included in that WPC outlook for excessive rainfall. So that area was not included, and they saw almost 7 inches of rain, and they're still seeing a little bit of light rain right now, so it's still continuing up that direction. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing? Welcome back. How's it going in Oklahoma? Have you seen any rain today? Been a little bit of a wet day over there, too. Not going to school? Did they cancel school for flooding? And I don't know if they can. I mean, they cancel school for a certain amount of flooding, but I'm not sure how many roadways are actually closed there in that area of South Carolina. By the way, for those that might be tuning in from Arizona, Utah, or Nevada, we do have an ongoing area mesoscale discussion for Southwest Utah, Southeast Nevada, as well as Northwest Arizona. That is for the potential for maybe some isolated damaging winds or hail. There is a couple of storms over there. I don't believe any of those are severe as of right now. We do not actually have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me see if I can go over to the screen, and I can. So, well, nope, I cannot. Never mind. We're going to stay on this screen. Thought I could go over to that screen. We don't have it. Actually, this is not a severe thunderstorm warning. I just don't have a screen to change over to. I have to fix that. I used to all the time. Yeah, if it's not safe to drive, obviously they would cancel it. It's Southeast Pennsylvania. You know what's crazy? After today, there's actually no chance of severe weather tomorrow or the following day, at least organized events. This is again today. We have a slight risk across portions of Ohio, West Virginia, as well as northern Kentucky. That continues for at least the next couple of hours. I do believe most of that severe weather action, though, is going to be starting to fizzle out. I think most of the strong storms may still on go, but nothing really too far beyond that. Beyond that, though, just a lot of, back near Texas, we might get a marginal threat tomorrow in Texas. That's definitely not out of the question. But beyond that, tomorrow, we are not looking at any severe weather potential. And the following day, we are also do not have a severe weather potential either. Now, that obviously can change, but as of right now, we're not looking at any severe weather potential. So there probably won't be any live streams, at least for Monday or Tuesday. And let me go over real quick. If you haven't already heard, by the way, we do have a little area of development back out in the Atlantic Ocean. We are starting to get very close to the peak of hurricane season. We may begin to see a couple of tropical storms or hurricanes form back out this direction. So just a little heads up. There is a little system, 20% chance of development as of right now. We have another tropical wave coming off of Africa pretty soon. If you want more details on that, you can check out my latest forecast. It has a full breakdown on when we might see our first hurricane of the season in the Atlantic Ocean. So, might be something to watch. All right, let's go back over to the live radar. We do have a brand new warning in Nevada. This is for Mesquite, Bunkerville, Elgin, and Carp for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds and quarter-sized hail. But look at this storm. That's either very heavy rain or a lot of hail or potentially a mix of both. I mean, we are definitely looking at a pretty potent storm here. Another one back up here to the north and another one right here. Not really any specific locations here, but north of Interstate 15. We have some pretty decent hailstorms right now. Mesquite is included in that warning, and as well as Carp, Bunkerville, Elgin. Seems to be a pretty rural area, but definitely some pretty decent hailstorms over here. Thank you, Kaiser. Yeah, the tornado warnings have been either canceled or all expired at this point. We don't have any ongoing as of right now. See you later, Brandy. Appreciate you stopping by. You have a great rest of your night. Predicting storms here in Massachusetts for Wednesday. Let me take a look real quick. There probably will be. Let me take a look at the Northeast real quick on my other monitor here. Might be a little bit of storm activity next week. All right, a little bit of storm activity. I don't know about Wednesday, but looks like at least maybe Friday there might be some storm activity from a weak little trough that might go through that region. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like, for those that are wondering about tropics, where's all the hurricanes? Well, obviously we typically don't see, actually our first hurricane on average happens around mid-August, but we are about low average on hurricane season so far, which I think any of us could take that at this point. But as of right now, there is no really big developments at this point that we're probably going to see in terms of the tropics in the next at least few days. Here's a look, by the way, at the flooding. It's kind of a blurry photo, but this is near Bluffton. This is the extreme flooding. 6 to 7 inches fell within about a couple of hours here in South Carolina. You can clearly see the ramps are flooded over. And it's obviously closed as of right now, and that is very well, you can see the police officer there. That is closed off here in Bluffton, South Carolina. So yeah, there's obviously been some flooding here. This is the area, again, that saw 6 to 7 inches of rain in approximately 2 to 3 hours. I believe, to be specific with this is on I think, Katy Highway near, again, just south, I think it was west or southwest of Bluffton. It's north of Savannah, Georgia. It's kind of on that Georgia-South Carolina border. So, yeah, there's some extreme flooding over here. There's a lot of rain. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and tweet this on Twitter. Go ahead and save this photo. That's insane. By the way, for those that are in chat right now, where are you guys all from? I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious if anybody's from Texas. Anybody seeing the rain yet? Or in Oklahoma even? Because Texas has been seeing some crazy rain. All right, posting that over to Twitter. All right, if you want to go check out that tweet, by the way, I'll link it in chat real quick, but that is, again, the flooding that we've seen in Bluffton. It's been pretty incredible over in Bluffton, South Carolina. Philly, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Connecticut. Okatee. Oh, Okatee, is that actually how you pronounce it? I've driven on that highway before, and thought it was always Okatee. Okatee Highway? Actually, I've driven on that road before, though. By the way, this is another warning that we have ongoing near Camp Verde. Let me go over to the radar real quick. This is a storm that is producing 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, a little bit more populated here in Arizona. Again, a lot of storm activity in this region, but most of it is a lot less, widespread than what we've seen the last several days. Not a whole lot of a flash flooding concern in this area at this point, but that's what we're looking at as of right now. Back over to Ohio real quick. Curious to see if we have any other storms going here. If we don't see much development over the next, 10 to 15 minutes, I'll probably, end the stream there, but we'll see. I'll be alive at least for the next 15 minutes or so. If there's any big developments that happen, we'll stay alive, but as of right now, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. Thank you, Good Jacob, Hunter, Tim, and David, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Anybody else that has subscribed, by the way, I appreciate you guys a lot. you haven't already, we're only 40 subscribers from 16,400. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you've not already. We're the most honest forecasting here on YouTube. We do forecasts every day. Except for tomorrow, because I don't think I'll have a forecast. I don't think we have much going on tomorrow. Might actually have something on Texas. We'll see. How's Florida and Pennsylvania? Florida is actually a state where we did see a little bit of storm activity. We had a little tornado warning earlier back up in Duval County. We actually have a storm down near Tampa. Pretty decent storm here. Producing some 40 mile per hour winds and a little bit of half-inch size hail. There was a wind gust report of 45 back down at the Air Force Base south of Tampa. So we have actually seen a little bit of gusty winds down here in Florida. Nothing too crazy, but... What was the other state you mentioned? I kind of missed it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you very much. How's Mexico doing? I have no clue. I don't really do Mexico weather. The only thing that did happen was that Invest, or really the little potential tropical cyclone, did make landfall. But since then, it has weakened. And it did not become our fourth named storm, Danielle. Here's a look at Chicago, by the way. I know somebody was asking, what's going on in Chicago? Well, it's a bunch of dry air. That's basically it. And this kind of look at the loop, by the way. I love looking at the infrared imagery. It is honestly one of the coolest things to look at on here. You can just see all the storm development. This is all the storm development over here from that trough up here that is currently developing some storm activity there in Ohio. Back over on the coastline, we got some storms ongoing. The flooding situation back down in southern South Carolina and eastern Georgia. That is obviously something that's been ongoing. Stationary storms. We got a lot of thunderstorm activity here from anywhere from even actually Texas through even western Texas. Kind of missed that. And all the way back through Florida. Pretty cool, though. A lot of dry air, though. Let me go over to this. This is a look at the water vapor imagery. And you can see all the dry air ushering in here to areas in the Midwest and as well as the Ohio Valley. And again, for those in Ohio, you're probably going to be dry tomorrow. So it's a little bit of a difference there, a little different story. A lot of dry air, though, currently centered all the way across the northern plains. We have a little bit more humid air coming in out of the far northern plains. But beyond that, a lot of drier air is ushering in. We have a lot of, obviously, all the water vapor. You can see all the significant storms that are developing in this area. Obviously, not all of them severe, but a lot of rain, to say the least, as these storms move off to the east and northeast. Even a little bit of dry air even out in front of this near Columbus, and that behind this little area of storms too. So a couple little features to look at here. And this is a tornado warning from earlier in Dayton. I think it's going to pop up here. Yeah, little tornado warning there. We got to go over to the live radar. We'll stop the little loop here. Pretty cool stuff, though. A lot of interesting weather ongoing. Got a little bit of dry air ushering in. Not a whole lot of, again, crazy weather recently, but had a couple of things happen, so it's been interesting. Has been interesting to say the least. Arts, you probably are. It's funny enough, I've actually seen that in my statistics. I saw some, I don't even know what that is, but I've seen that for whatever reason pop up. Other state you mentioned, Pennsylvania. Tonight there might be some storms. Let me go over to the other radar. We'll just keep it on this for now. Maybe some isolated storm activity. There's actually a couple of stronger storms back over near Altoona, but other than that, just a couple of isolated strong, maybe weak, severe storms. But beyond that, it's not going to be much. It's primarily just going to be rain, some downpours, some occasional thunderstorms, but nothing too crazy over that direction tonight. What looks best? I'm curious. I don't know if we have any good... The water vapor kind of looks crazy with the storms. I'm just kind of looking through this stuff. I don't see anything that really blends in well. This is another crazy radar. This is all the clouds and stuff you can kind of see around the areas. It's just kind of different types of clouds, I should say. But beyond that, it's not a whole lot. We have a little strong storm, as I mentioned before, back down near Lebannon and Clarksville, but nothing too crazy. Hey, Runaway, how you doing? Welcome back. I'm in Dallas. When are we going to get hit? Dallas, anywhere in North Texas, you have the best chance for rain between tonight all the way through Tuesday morning. That's the best chance for showers and storms. Honestly, I think the best chance, though, for anyone in North Texas, that goes for basically anybody, will probably be tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning seems to be a lot more rain than what we've seen today. And I think that really goes for anywhere in DFW. I know a lot of people keep asking me on Facebook, like, you know, my app said there was going to be rain at 4 a.m. Where is it? You're lying. I'm like... You gotta watch my forecast and stuff. I mentioned the timing specifically. It's from late Sunday all the way through Tuesday morning. That's the best chance. And there might be some storms tonight, but I think our best chance is tomorrow morning. That's what we're looking at as of right now. We do have an update on a severe thunderstorm warning in Gila, Arizona. It's not really much of an update, but quarter-sized hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Goes until 7:45 Eastern. Hey, happy late birthday, Dorian. Hope you had a great birthday. It's Lebanon. Actually, how you say it? I thought it was Lebanon. Lebanon. None? Lebanon? I apologize. I don't pronounce names very well. Can you check South Alabama? Sure. We'll take a look real quick. I think there's some storm activity actually down there. Yeah, a little bit of storm activity. Nothing crazy, just some scattered showers, maybe a couple isolated storms. Nothing too insane, but we got a couple strong storms maybe near Pensacola, a couple near Mobile. Nothing too insane though, luckily. By the way, quick reminder, if you're on our stream right now and you have Discord, you can join our community off the stream. The link will be in the chat from Nightbot. Make sure to join our Discord server. You can interact with the community, ask questions off the stream, all that sort of stuff. Make sure to join that. I am pretty active on our Discord server, so feel free to join. Like the country? I'm not gonna lie, I always thought it was Lebanon. I don't know why. Lebanon. Lebanon. Okay, we'll try that next time. I have a baby sister in Iowa. Iowa's all dry. It's very dry weather today. You're not going to see anything. We have a lot of drier air, much drier air mass ushering in over there. So I'm not concerned about much over there. Got a couple of strong storms again in northeast Texas. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of a wide view of everything. Again, Ohio severe weather is going to be winding down. Not much over in Nevada or even in Arizona right now. Just some isolated storms. This storm over here, I mentioned it before, but the one north of Mesquite, that storm specifically looks pretty impressive. I mean, we're talking at least quarter-sized tail to say the minimum, but there's definitely a pretty impressive cell there. It's north of Interstate 15, too. Just look up a video of somebody saying it. I did that for the Zeonia area east of Dayton earlier. I actually literally played it on my other monitor. I don't know if anybody heard that, but at the beginning of the stream, I was making sure I got the pronunciation right. Thank you, Key, as well as TJ, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody's support, by the way. Appreciate you watching. Really do appreciate it. Again, the live stream will go for another 5 minutes, I'll say, or so, unless something big develops. But we're only 24 subscribers from 16,400. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate it before we end the stream. But I'll at least be live for another 5 minutes or so. We'll see if anything develops. But I do think, for the most part, severe weather will be winding down. So, good news overall. Very good news. We're not going to see too much more beyond what we've already seen. There's been crazy couple of storms, though, at the beginning of the stream. We definitely saw some very active stuff ongoing at the beginning of the stream. So, very active day overall across the Ohio Valley, some areas in the Northeast, as well as through even Texas. It's been pretty active today, so. Hey, Grant, how you doing? Welcome back. Check velocities in Nevada. Let me take a look. Let me go over to the radar side. I have to go back to the high def radar. I was on the low def. I like to call it the low def radar. I don't know why. The low definition radar. It's not really low definition, but here's a look at the storm and the velocities. That is interesting. That might be hail. I'm pretty sure that's just hail, though. I see. That actually looks pretty strong, though. Go from the other radar site real quick. I was kind of curious here. That looks pretty strong, though. It's kind of where the hail is, though, so the hail may be kind of interacting with that. Let me go back over to the radar site that's closer. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of investigating here. A little bit higher up. That is extremely consistent throughout the atmosphere, which is kind of impressive, but it might be because of the hail. That is interesting, though. That is interesting. Don't have the best radar sites, unfortunately, here, but that definitely looks to be more of hail, I would say, more than anything, because where the rotation is kind of where the hail is. So if we kind of go ahead and circle it, rotation, and match it up with the reflectivity, yeah, I think it's hail. I don't think it's a tornado, but definitely interesting. I think this is pretty unpopulated, luckily, but that is definitely a pretty big hail core that's trying to create that. Hey, Tornado, how you doing? Welcome back. Do forecasters forecast Hawaii and Alaska? I don't really do it too often, and the only area that I'll probably forecast really at all would be Hawaii. That's for more tropical stuff. I've done Hawaii a couple of times, though. It's more for tropical developments, though. Thanks, Enchanted. I appreciate that a lot. Appreciate that a lot. You subscribing. Thank you, Mike, as well as Copin, by the way, for subscribing too. Thanks, Blake. I appreciate you subscribing as well. Yeah, if there was a tornado, it would be rain wrap, but I think it's more of a hail thing. It seems like it's more hail congestion with the radar. I'm going to take a look at something else here. It's the gate-to-gate shear. Yeah, I think it's hail. I'm pretty certain it's hail here. I didn't see a whole lot, to be honest with you, that would make me think it's a tornado, though. It looks like pretty strong rotation, though, but I wouldn't be surprised, but I think it's more of just a hail sort of thing right now. Hail does quite often kind of skew the velocities. All right. That's awesome, Dorian. Awesome. You should donate that to me. No, I'm kidding. I'm glad you got $9 for your birthday. That's awesome. I never got money for my birthday. I would always just get like maybe a gift and that'd be it. I don't know about anybody else. But... let me take a look at Twitter real quick. We'll see if there's any new updates on anything. Again, if you missed it earlier in the stream, I kind of showed the insane flooding in South Carolina. I'm going to link that tweet in chat a couple times. But make sure to go check that out. That is insane flooding down there in South Carolina. But beyond that, we haven't seen a whole lot of severe weather recently, which is good news. Gonna take one quick look again. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning somewhere in Arizona. So it's basically everything's in the southwest now, which is good news. It seems like Ohio and whatnot starting to wind down on that severe weather. So a lot of good news there. But that's going to be it for the stream. I do appreciate everybody tuning in as always to the stream. If you have any questions, again, feel free to leave a comment on one of my videos, join our Discord server. That's the best way to contact me. I'm pretty active on our Discord server. Again, that link will be in the chat from Nightbot. Make sure to check that out. Again, if this is your first time watching my page, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below. Helps our page out a lot. And again, we do daily forecasts for the most part, if it's needed at least. And we do live streams across the entire United States. So if you live in the United States and you're watching this live stream right now, hit the subscribe button. I'll keep you updated with the latest on all severe weather and whatnot. And even during the winter, tropics, all that sort of stuff, we do a lot of stuff here on the YouTube channel. I do appreciate everybody tuning in though tonight, as always. Really do appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to keep most of you guys safe tonight. We had a couple of tornado warnings, obviously, at the beginning, starting to wind down after that. But beyond that, that's basically it for the stream. Hit the like button before you leave. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. Follow us on Twitter too. I'm going to link that in chat too. We post a lot of photos on Twitter as well. So make sure to join our Discord server. Find our Twitter. If you don't see them in the chat, you can go to our description of any video and you'll be able to find those links as well. All right, have a great rest of your night, guys. We'll see you again soon. Love y'all. We'll see you guys all again later.